There are plenty of sample libraries that offer pre-recorded harp glissandi. Here are some from the East-West Platinum series. But the problem with these, as with any canned musical gesture, is that you have few, if any, options for what note they start on, what note they end up on, and the overall dynamics of the gesture. And the intermediate notes, meaning what scale the gliss is playing, is limited to the choices provided by the library. But let's say you found a gliss sample that was playing the right scale and started and ended on the right notes, but just plays at the wrong tempo, like this one. The solution here would be to use time stretching to fit the gliss into the tempo of your piece. So to do that, I made an audio recording of the gliss and then used time stretching to move the peak of the gliss right to the downbeat. So that's one method you can use to fit canned glissandi into the tempo of your music. But short of a library that had sampled glisses of every conceivable starting and ending note, scale, and dynamics, you're always going to be limited to what you can do with canned glisses. But there's a fairly easy solution to this that offers the ultimate amount of flexibility in terms of the starting and ending notes, the timing, the shape, and the dynamics, and that is to roll your own glissandi by swiping the white keys on your keyboard just as a harpist swipes the strings on the harp. This works out really nicely because, as I mentioned in the previous tutorial, the 7 strings per octave on the harp are analogous to the 7 white keys in each octave of the keyboard. Voila! And this is the approach I took to create the harp gliss you heard in the first tutorial. Here it is again. So to create this gliss, which is in G major, I started on the low G, glissed up to the high G, and back down to the low G. But originally it didn't sound like that. It sounded like this. The difference is that all of the Fs in the final version are F sharps, in keeping of course with G major, but when I played it in, swiping the white keys meant I was playing F naturals. So yes, it sounded wrong when I played it in, but I was anticipating the next move, which was to go into the editor, select all the Fs, which I can do quickly with the key command, and then I bumped them all up a half step to F sharp with this result. But if you don't like the idea of playing in a gliss where all the notes aren't 100% correct to begin with, and who could blame you, many DAWs have a feature where you can remap the notes coming from your controller to other notes in real time. In this example, I'm going to play just the white notes, but they're being remapped to the notes of a whole tone scale in real time. Now, if you're not happy with the dynamics of the gliss you played in, and it does take a bit of practice, you can use your DAW's velocity editing feature to alter it. And here I'm going to go back to the G major 7 gliss that you've heard several times already, because I don't know about you, but there's only so much I can stand to hear whole tone scales. So here's the original. And now using a velocity editing feature of Logic, I can soften the overall dynamic.